This is Mohini Srishti from Evolve Beings. Namaste. How are you today? Sorry, I am running a little late than the scheduled time of 1 p.m., but I was trying to figure out the technology a little bit, and today I didn't seem to be lucky. So anyhow, today I want to share on a very, very sensitive topic, death, sickness, and emotions. And why I chose this topic, because many of you must be knowing what is happening in India, what we all are struggling together in it. And yes, India is in a situation of challenges with COVID being spread like fire. And it's taking many, many lives. Many, many people are COVID positive. There are nearly more than 100,000 cases every day. So, how So there must be many emotions during this time for all of us to feel, to allow, to yes, to be with it. And and somehow death again is a very forbidden subject or topic in many religions. I know for sure in Islam, women are not even allowed to go to the cremation grounds. It's the same story like sex is allowed only in the bedroom and hush hush, no talks about it. Similarly, death, we we don't talk about it. We don't accept it somehow. We always feel that the death is happening to somebody else or in our neighborhood, and we live or we feel like we are immortal. So just to share on this particular topic, which we all might have gone through or might be going through right now, sickness or death of any of our loved ones or near or dear ones or of our friends or people whom we know. In these last 2 weeks, probably I heard so many deaths that I wouldn't have heard in my all these years of life. And it did make me sensitive to the to people suffering, to people's emotions, to what is happening in my home country. Though being in Goa, I can say I'm very lucky because it's not it's pretty easy still in Goa to live with the present COVID situation in India, and there are still not that many cases as compared to Delhi or Mumbai or the big cities. So there is a very beautiful story I like to share on the life of Buddha. When Buddha was born, it was forecasted that he would be either a great king or a great saint. And when his father learned this, of course, the father wanted his son to be the great king, the great ruler, and not the saint, as he was the king of a big kingdom in East India. So, so what he did, he consulted his people in his every kingdom. Every king has, a committee. So he consulted, and one of his kinship, a kingsman, told him that if you want Buddha not to become a saint, then you should keep him away from the death and sickness, or from the people dying or aging old, because that can move Buddha to renunciate the world. That can move Buddha to be compassionate to the world. And the king, the father of Buddha, understood this immediately, that yes. And he threw out all the sick people out of his kingdom. So there was made another space where all the sick people were living. So anybody who used to get sick with any kind of epidemic or anything, they were thrown out to that particular area. Or any old man or woman were living in this separate area, which was not a part of the main kingdom. So for many, many years, I think until 26 or 27 years is when Buddha took the renunciation. So until 26 or 27 years, Buddha never saw anybody dying in front of him. Buddha never saw anybody old or aging. Or Buddha never saw anybody who was sick. So the first time Buddha was on a round of his kingdom, and somehow there was this old man who just happened to cross his cart, his royal cart. So he asked his person, "Who is this old man? Why is he so old?" And he was a bit bent and bit looked sick, and it really moved Buddha, and he became very curious to know that who is this old man. This was the first ever time Buddha saw any old man or anybody sick. So, and from there, Buddha found more, and Buddha found that his dad, and from there, asking and interrogating, asking different people, Buddha discovered also that separate place which his dad made to for only for the sick and dying people. He visited that space, and that moved Buddha a lot, to an extent that he renunciated the whole kingdom. He renunciated everything. On that very day, on that very moment, he left his, I think, a newly born baby, and he became a new father just then. So he left his newborn baby, his wife, his kingdom, and went to discover himself, went to discover the real truth, the real self. So I meant to say that somehow, even in these times, death is very hidden from all of us. Whether it is cremation grounds, which are generally made out of the cities or out of our sight, or many women, in, as I said, in religions, in many religions, women are not allowed also to go to the cremation ground. So still death is a very hidden or a forbidden subject. Why? Because it can move us, it can shake something in us, it can tell us about the futility of this body with which we are so attached. So I like to share that in these last 2 weeks, I heard death of some near and dear ones. One of my aunt, with whom I spent really many days in my childhood, and the son of a friend who died very young, 20-year-old. It made, when you hear especially the death of near ones, it moves you. The death feels more on the face. The death feels more a reality and not a distant story. So it intrigued me. It moved me. It made me question again. And my aunts, and of course I go inside me to feel, to allow any tears which are coming, or any emotions, or any grief, or any sorrow, whatever is coming, to just flow. Because if we can't feel death, we can't feel life. That's the thumb rule. If we don't allow to feel people suffering, or our own suffering, or our own sickness, or people's sickness, or if we are not sensitive, if we are not sensitive to feel death, we are not sensitive to feel also life. So yes, I was very intrigued with with the death of my near and dear ones in last 2 weeks, and I was feeling the pain of many in India, wherein in India right now there is not enough hospital beds, there are not enough oxygen cylinders. People are struggling to find even a hospital bed, have to call probably 50 hospitals or 20 hospitals to find one bed for their loved ones. In these situations, what can be done? What can I do? So I felt that I can share some experience or some positivity, some support from this channel of social media, which could be very powerful to make the voice travel far and beyond. I remember still the first time I felt death was in Nepal. There is a temple in Nepal, I don't remember the name now. There is a temple which has a cremation ground. So I was traveling in Nepal, in Kathmandu, with a friend, and I happened to go to this temple, and I watched few bodies burning over there. And I still remember because it's so deep. Have you been to any cremation ground? I would really suggest go feel it, because it would make you feel something which you would not have felt before. It makes us fall all the facades which we are creating, all the things which we are attached to, which may not be needed. So, coming back to my experience when I was in Nepal, and then the next time I experienced or I felt death very closely was in Varanasi. Again, so Varanasi, if you have been ever, if you haven't been, I still highly recommend or suggest to whosoever, please do go to Varanasi at least once in your lifetime. It's the ancient most city in the world, they say, and this city really shows you the true picture of India. So I was sitting on the Ganges, the Ghat, they call it, and in Varanasi, one of the Ghat is like a cremation ground, because many people, they come, they either, the whole dead bodies are um, sent in the Ganges, or there's also cremation ground, they burn the bodies. So I was alone, and I was sitting at the Ghat and just watching bodies coming, bodies burning. And that city in itself is a very spiritual, it carries a spiritual vibe and energy and air. It moved something in me which I feel I carry. And now when I was feeling the death of near ones, it reminded me my lesson of impermanence, that everything in life is so impermanent, though we live like we are immortals. Also, it makes me realize always that we don't have enough time in our life, or probably we don't have, like, we feel that we are going to live here on this earth forever and ever and ever, which is not true. What is born would die eventually. Life and death, it's the two circles. Yeah, it's the two realities. What is born would die. What is dying may reborn or rebirth. So yes, this experience of watching the bodies burning in the cremation ground really awakened some kind of sensations which probably I would not have felt otherwise. And nobody teaches anything, or nobody talk anything about death, because people don't want to feel their emotions. Probably my parents don't want to feel the emotions. So I would say whatever is coming up for you, in this time, just allow to feel, just allow those emotions to express through you. Just allow those expressions to move through you. See what is coming up for you. What kind of sensations, what kind of feeling, what kind of thoughts it bringing for you. And I would like to invite you, maybe in a very, very short meditation right now. So please close your eyes and feel what has it been maybe in this year, this month, this week or last week, or in past years related to someone who died, someone who was sick or you were sick. What kind of emotions did it bring for you? Could you allow yourself to feel at that point of time, or can you feel now? And it's okay. It's okay. Really, it's okay to feel whatever is coming up. We are always being taught not to feel pain, not to feel pleasure. But if we don't feel pain, we also close ourselves to feel pleasure, to feel joy, to feel happiness. So it's okay to feel grief, to feel sadness, or whatever emotion is coming into this moment. And whatever is coming up, let your body move. Maybe you can shake sometimes, you can cry, you can beat the pillow, you can scream. Just just let out. Don't collect this baggage inside you, because if maybe not now, but in the next, the life will bring this emotion or this incident maybe again in some other form or in some other shape or situation. So we have to face it sooner or later. It might be death of our own self, or somebody really immediate in our family. So it's better to feel it now and let it move. So whatever is coming up, you can just allow completely to feel, to move without any holding yourself. You might feel that these emotions may take you over, but it won't, because the next step, which I am gonna ask you, is to move your emotions, or to move your attention now from these emotions to your heart, to the space of love which we all have. We are all connected to this infinite source of love, whether we realize it or not. We are plugged in by default to this source of love. There might be just some dust, on the top, which we need to just dust off. So just move to the space of heart, because it's important. The emotions or any kind of suffering which we are feeling of others or of our own self, we feel it, we breathe in these emotions, this suffering into our heart. We move this energy up. Emotions are generally second chakra essence or elements. So it's important to move this energy of second chakra, to allow, it's the second chakra is the element of water, fluidity. So allowing first the expression of emotions, and then moving this energy of whatever you're feeling, of grief, of sadness, of sorrow, of crying, just move upwards to your space of heart, to the source of love, and breathe. Breathe this suffering. Breathe whatever happened, whatever this expression happened. Can you just connect now? Can you transform this grief and breathe out love? Breath is a very important instrument to move energy in our body. So, moving, breathing in the suffering, in the space of love, in the space of this heart chakra, and breathing out love to your loved ones, breathing out love to those who have passed, those who have left this body, breathing out love to your parents, to your friends, to your family, breathing out love to Mother India, to the people who are suffering in India, breathing out love to people in Turkey, in Brazil, or whichever country people have been affected by COVID or any other disease. Just breathing in whatever were your emotions, or breathing in this suffering, or whatever you were feeling, breathing in that and breathing out love. Breathing in suffering and breathing out love. Breathing in suffering of this world, breathing in suffering of those who passed away, breathing in suffering of those who need help, breathing in suffering of those who are sick at the moment, breathing in suffering of our own emotions into the space of heart, and breathing out love, breathing out compassion. And this particular practice can help you not to drown in your emotions, but to transform those emotions of grief, sadness into love, into support, into compassion for yourself, for others, for everyone around you. There is a very beautiful poem I learned by reading to my baby of 2 year old. He has a nursery rhyme book. And the poem is like, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. I sing it again. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So, in the poem, it's such a beautiful poem. So, the boat is your body. It's symbolically, they refer, and even in Sanskrit or in many other languages, in Kabir, they have mentioned body as the boat. So, rowing this boat gently down the stream means gently down the stream of life, because this life is a dream. This would soon pass by, this would soon go away like a dream in a click. We think, like we're going to live 60 years, 70 years, or 30 more years. It's a lot of time, but trust me, it passes in a click. The life passes in a click. And I was reading a few days ago about on the life of Steve Jobs, the richest man, probably one of the richest man on earth, who made, probably all of you know this man, Steve Jobs, the inventor of Apple. So he, during his last days on the bed, or in his last breath, or in his last time on the deathbed, he said, I wish I would have spent more time with my family instead of accumulating the wealth. And his very last words were, oh, wow, wow, wow. I repeat, because I really found it very wonder, like the words of wonder, which is coming from a person who was really a genius, a brilliant, and his last words were, oh, wow, wow, wow. Now, there could be multiple meanings. One doesn't know what, but what I felt was recently when I was watching one of the workshop in Wonder Woman Festival on conscious dying from Manisha James. And she said, death is the biggest orgasm in life. And when I read these words, I was like, this man was having his biggest orgasm probably. Oh, wow, wow, wow. So if we have really lived fully, really lived to the fullest, squeezing every juice of life, these could be our experience on our own deathbed. So, my one of my greatest reminder in all these last 2 weeks or whatever has been happening, hearing the death of near and dear ones, was a reminder, Srishti, wake up, life is too short. Live it full. Yeah, it's gonna go in a click. Wake up, wake up, wake up now. Live it full. Live it now. So, oh, wow, wow, wow. Could be, could be our words, or could be not, or God knows what he was feeling. And yes, so just a gentle reminder again, let yourself feel, let all the facades be broken. We Death is a reality. You look at a tree, you see a fallen leaf, and then on the other tree you may see a blossomed fruit or a blossomed flower. Life. I've been hearing the news in last 2 weeks of death and sickness, and today I'm gonna meet a friend who's pregnant, 6 months. Life. Yeah. So life and death, both the biggest realities, but how we live life is gonna decide how we die, how much consciously we can die, how much in wonder we can die. So, conscious dying is an art of conscious living. And meditation could be the biggest answer of conscious living. Embrace what can wake you up, embrace to allow and feel, because feeling is very important thing which we humans have been gifted. Probably animals can also feel, because when I see my cat, I'm like, oh yes, she can feel my touch, she can feel my words, even if we don't understand the language of each other by words. So feeling is a very important essence we humans have been gifted. Trust the language of feeling, then the language of thinking, because feeling is the essence of heart, feeling is the essence of touch, feeling is the essence of body. Thinking is the essence of mind. Thinking is the essence of being calculative, knowledge, or what we have learned in schools, or how we have been programmed. So come back, Come back, allow, ask yourself to come back, to let it feel, to let it flow, feel and flow. And yes. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening on this very sensitive subject. And don't be hesitant if you get a chance. Go to a cremation ground. Allow yourself to see a body being burned or being buried, being perished. Yeah, this is just the matter. Gonna go soon, whether mine or yours. So live it when it's still time. Live the youth, live the sex, live the emotions, live the relationships, live the misery, live the joy. It's just the two sides of the same coin, and that coin is us, that coin is life. Life would bring both. Life will bring death, life will bring rebirth, life will bring sorrows, life will bring joy. So just stay as the all saints have said, be the witness. Thank you. I'm glad that I could share on this particular topic, and I hope you received something. Please feel free to share your own experience yeah, into death, into sickness, into emotions which comes up when you might have learned the death of any near one around you. Thank you. Thank you, and bye bye. Ciao.